hopefully. Channel. There it is. Now it's loading up as I speak. There it is. And the audio is working as it should. Streams up, chat's up. We're all good to go. Fantastic. Hello everyone and welcome to round 8 of the PlayStation America series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event. And this time we are racing at the Marina Bay Street Circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. The 3.15 mile 23 turn circuit was made in 2008 and is known for hosting the longest Grand Prix in terms of time on the calendar. Being a street circuit, it's naturally a bit difficult to overtake, but it's definitely not impossible. You have 3 DRS zones on the racetrack that lead into turn 1, the best overtaking spot at turn 7 and turn 14. For the rest of the circuit, the drivers will have to worry about the hazards of the racetrack, mainly the always present concrete walls that line the edge of the racetrack and track limit warnings. There are quite a few cuttable corners here and drivers need to take advantage of that in order to be competitive and set quick lap times. And I've just noticed Darlotto has left the session. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin. Now before we focus on this qualifying session, there is a little bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Spain. There were 2 incident reports, both involving Renner Jr., who is still in the pit lane. Oh, he's just left it. Yes, both involve Renner Jr., and both find Renner Jr. at fault. He got 5-second time penalties for each incident, and as a result, he got 10 seconds total and 2 penalty points, which demotes him from P4 to P6 in the final results. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, KD is leading the way on 139 points, followed by Mighty Wombat on 121, who I notice is absent for today's race. Renner Jr. is third on 106, followed by Rafa on 101, then JBH on 94. Completing the top 10, we have Noah in P6, Darlotto in P7, Lakeshore in P8, Oscar Toll in P9, and Black Baller in P10. In the Constructors, Mercedes are leading on 207 points. They have a 60-point lead over Williams, who are on 147. Alfa Romeo are third, just 3 points behind Williams on 144. And Aston Martin are 4 points behind Alfa Romeo on 140. So those 3 teams are very, very close together. As I've noticed, Rafixa has crashed out of qualifying. His teammate is coming up to the scene now. Oh dear, that's a lot of debris. Well, hopefully Captain Schmeck doesn't get a puncture from that, because that is very doable. If you run over puncture, there's a reasonable chance that you will get a puncture. Looking at the rest of the Constructors' table, we have Red Bull in 5th place, followed by Ferrari. Only 1 point separate those 2 things, so it's pretty close. Yellow flag's about. I think that was Lakeshore making a mistake here. Haas and McLaren are tied on points in P8 and P9. They're on 33 apiece. Then AlphaTauri at the bottom of the table, they're on 32 points. That's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now focus on qualifying. It's going to be a fairly important qualifying session, as I've noticed Darlotto has rejoined the session. That's great to see, as Oscar Toll went straight on at turn 13. He might have been trying to get out of the way from somebody, or he genuinely made a mistake. I'm not too sure. But qualifying is definitely going to be very, very important, just because of how naturally difficult it is to pass around here. You've got 3 DRS zones, but 2 of those DRS zones are effectively useless. The only effective one is the one heading into turn 7. That's basically it. If you're going to try and make overtakes anywhere else, it probably won't work. You'll have a high chance of having a meet and greet with a barrier if you try and overtake anywhere else. Oh, good, KD. So it's dry all the way through. Fantastic. The last 2 races I've commentated in Race Spec here at Singapore, they were full wet races. They were incredibly long. But no, that's fantastic to hear. We've got a dry race, which means quite a few drivers are going to try and set times on the medium compound tyre, and that's exactly what Lake Show is doing right now. That's because the soft tyre here at Singapore is kind of useless. It's a great qualifying tyre, it's really quick, but in the race it's only useful for about 5 laps, and tyre wear kicks in and the tyre speed basically jumps off a cliff. So drivers will try and set times on the medium compound tyre, try and start on the medium compound tyre. Of course, you run the risk of drivers starting on the soft tyre and getting track position early, and you don't want to be in the midfield at the beginning of a race. It's a very nasty place to be on the opening lap, being stuck in the middle of the pack with a whole heap of drivers in front of you and a whole heap of drivers behind. Captain Schmeck here is going to complete a flying lap and start a new one. He invalidated that previous lap. He's heading through turn 1 right now, into turns 2 and 3. And he invalidates a turn 2. Pretty easy to do that. The track demands you to cut as much as you can, to try and straight line the corners as much as you can. So it's very, very easy to invalidate here during qualifying. You just got to make sure to get at least one clean lap on the board, as Oscar Toll does exactly that. Jumps up to P3 with a 38.2. Currently it's Black Baller from Renner Jr. Both of them have set times on the soft compound tyre. The next two, Oscar Toll and Lake Show, they've done times on the mediums. Rafa is next in P5 on the soft tyre, same with Shizant. And Laquito, Jaber, Ice Dev and Snake and Beans, those are the drivers who have set times. JBH exiting turn 8 around turn 9, an important corner to get right. Got a fairly lengthy straight here. Try and maximise straight line speed, heading into the infamous Singapore Sling, turn 10 and 11 and 12. This section used to be a rather notorious bit of track on the original layout. That section used to be an incredibly tight, incredibly small chicane that had incredibly tall curbs, as a lot of drivers found out. A few drivers hitting the curbs awkwardly and sending themselves into the barrier. Rather infamously, Kimi Raikkonen and Kamui Kobayashi did that. 2 separate years. I think it was 2008 and 2012, I think Kamui did it, if I remember correctly. KDH coming out of turn 21 up towards the final 2 corners on the racetrack, 22 and 23. It's a very high demand part of the racetrack. The tyres are right on the edge of grip when you come out of both left-handers. You have to be quite careful on the exit. Carlotta getting ready, trying to dump as much fuel as he can. Noah's getting ready as well. He's coming up towards the final sector. KD, our championship leader, is about to begin a flying lap. And tell you what, I'm going to ride on board, give you a proper tour of this 3.1 mile racetrack. Heading onto the main straight, crossing the control line, we begin the flying lap. Down towards turn 1, big braking zone, braking at the 50 board. 4th gear through turn 1, then through turn 2, into 3. Now around turn 4, this little left-hand kink on the official track map is turn 4. Don't ask me why, it just is. Around turn 5, probably the most important corner on the racetrack. You need to get that right so you can maximise straight line speed on this section, heading towards turn 7. Hard on the brakes for 7. 4th gear. Cuts very nicely there, using the full width of the racetrack. Around turn 8, in towards turn 9. Keeps it in 4th gear. KD tends to use a gear higher compared to a lot of other drivers. Keeps the car nice and stable. Into the Singapore Sling, turn 10. Then into the chicane of 11 and 12. He'll go over the Anderson Bridge, nice and steady, keeping the car stable. Around the hairpin of 13, another important corner, because you've got a long straight here, heading towards 14. He's got DRS wide open. Keep it in 7th gear into the braking zone of 14. Brings it down to 3rd. Maybe missing the apex a little bit. Could probably use a bit more tarmac on the outside as well, but it's tidy. It's very, very tidy. Around turn 17, he cut too much there. That's very, very easy to do. The lap demands you cut that much, so it's very easy to go that little bit too far. And that's exactly what KD did. But I think he's got enough go juice left to try and set another lap, but he's not going to bother, as Noah has crashed out. Let's see here, Eister. There he is there. So at the exit of turn 14, he's lost it. He's put it into the wall. There he is. So he'll be more than likely starting from the very back then, I would think. He and Rafixa have not set times because they've crashed out. That's pretty easy to do here as well. There's so many traction zones that if you get one of them wrong, it's very easy to lose the car and put it into the wall. Captain Schmeg sets off on a flying lap, heading down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Brings it down to third gear briefly, then short shifted back up to fourth. And he did the same thing there at turn 3. Brought it down to first gear to get the rotation, then short shifted up to third to get the traction on corner exit. Now around the flat out right-hander of turn 6, heading down to 7 at 308 kilometers an hour. He hits the braking zone, bring it down to fourth gear. Took a very nice and tidy line around turn 7. Same with turn 8, keeping it well away from the barriers. Using the full width of the racetrack at turn 9, very tidy. Heading down towards the Singapore sling. Bring it down to third gear rather, at turn 10, through 11 and 12. Over the bridge and into the hairpin of turn 13. Look at that short shifting there. Just to try and find traction on corner exit. He's apparently purple to the middle sector. We'll see what his time looks like at the end of qualifying. Hello, soft tyre. It's good to see that glitch is still very much in the game. Through 16 and 17, this final sector, the third sector, just got a cascade of 90-degree corners as Renner Jr. improves to take pole position with a 1 minute 37.124. Around turn 21. Now the final two corners, turns 22 and 23. Captain Schmeg will cross the line to take pole position on the medium tyre with a 1 minute 36.5. It's actually quite a tidy lap from Captain Schmeg, especially on the mediums. That's a great effort. See if anyone has something in response. The Lotto, he'll be going back into the pits. You can tell he has a flashing red icon. He won't have enough fuel. Cutting the racetrack there. A bit naughty, but that's okay, I suppose. KD here getting ready to set another flying lap. Coming around 21. Not sure how much... Oh, hang on, there's a Red Bull that's come to a stop. It's Rafa. Must have been low on fuel. Just got under 5.5 minutes left in qualifying. With the amount of time it takes towards doing an outlap and doing an in-lap here. For some drivers on their flying laps, it might be their last flying laps. Because yeah, the outlap and the in-lap, they are very, very long here. Down towards turn 7 goes KD. He's purple to the first sector on the mini-map. Around turn 8, he'll bring it down to third gear. Keep it in third around the right-hander. Gets nice traction on the exit, then goes around turn 9. On to the straightaway in towards the Singapore sling, turn 10. And into 11 and 12, using the full width of the racetrack. You can see how much he was cutting there. Over the bridge and into the hairpin of turn 13. Overshot that. He definitely overshot that. It wasn't a bad effort around that hairpin. He got a nice exit, but he lost time at the apex. He comes around turn 14, heading towards turns 15, 16, and 17. And using that full width of the circuit. Underneath the spectator grandstand. And now only the final two corners remain, 22 and 23. He'll cross the line to set a 36.2 and take pole position away from Captain Schmeg. He's 3.5 tenths clear of the Haas driver. Black Baller getting out of the way, it seems, of KD. JBH getting ready to set a flying lap, going nice and steady through the middle sector. Very steady, actually. Psycho making his way through the final sector. He's yet to set a lap time. Snake and Beans has retired on track, I think. Yeah, he's had enough, it seems. Psycho will cross the line to set a 40.3 and goes 13th fastest in the AlphaTauri. Darlato is running out of time to set his flying lap. Got just under 3 minutes left in qualifying. See, really revving the car out there, trying to dump as much fuel as he can. Bit of wheel spin as well to try and keep the rear tyres nice and warm. He comes around 21. He'll set off on his flying lap. Onto the main straightaway he goes. And begins his flying lap. Down towards turn 1. 7th gear, 303 kilometers an hour. Chucks it into the left-hander. Round turn 2. Into turn 3. Nice and tidy opening part of the racetrack there. Up towards turn 5. Needs to get this right. Or he could probably use a bit more of the racetrack, but it was tidy. It was very tidy. Up towards the first sector split. KD's retired. And Darlato is apparently purple to the first sector. Around turn 8. Using the full width at turn 8. Same with turn 9. Not afraid to get close to the walls there. Up towards the Singapore Sling, turn 10. Brings it down to 4th gear for the left-hander. In towards the chicane of 11 and 12. Really bumping over the curbs there. Now into turn 13. And again overshooting it like KD. That'll cost him a little bit of time. A bit of wheel spin on the exit as well, as he desperately puts the power down. He's apparently purple though to the middle sector. Oh, almost goes into the wall there at turn 14. He's pushing hard around 15. Into turns 16 and 17. Now towards the spectator grandstand. Into turns 18 and 19. 3rd gear, nice and steady on the throttle. Around 20 and 21. Oh, dearie me, that's a Red Bull off the racetrack there. Oh, and he's invalidated. He's invalidated his lap. But he has enough time to set one more flying lap. He did a 37.6. That would have put him P6 on the grid. He's got time to do another. Black Baller comes around the final 2 corners to complete his flying lap. He improves by almost 4/10 to go 3rd fastest with a 37 flat. JBH, he's got enough time to set one final flying lap with 20 seconds on the clock. I think Oscar here just might be out of time to try and set another one, so this is it for him. Around 21, he spins! He spins. Lap over for Oscar. The best he can hope for is P8. Psycho's making his way through. He's put it into the wall is what he's done. Best he can hope for is 13th. Darlato exits turn 13 down towards the middle sector split. He's done a 4.4 to the middle sector. And Black Ball has made a mistake at turn 8, I think. Or he was trying to get out of the way, more likely, of JBH, who is on a flying lap. Through 18, then 19. Through 20 and 21. Can Darlato challenge pole position? Can he take it away from KD? Around 22. Around 23. Up towards the line. He's 5th fastest with a 37.3. What about JBH? No, his lap is done. And he was up by quite a bit in the middle sector. But he won't be able to challenge for pole position. He'll start P6 for the Singapore Grand Prix. So it's KD, 1997, who will start on pole position here in Singapore. Setting a 1 minute 36.235. Beating Captain Schmeg, who set a time of 1 minute 36.570. They're the only 2 drivers in the 36s. More remarkably, they've done those times on the medium compound tyre. Black Baller will start third on the soft tyre with a 37 flat, followed by Renner Jr. with a 37.1, then Darlotto with a 37.3. JBH on screen right now is P6 with a 37.5, followed by Liquito and Rafa, both setting 37.8. Oscar Toll in P9 with a 38.2, and Lake Show rounds out the 10. He's done 4 laps on those tyres as well. So those are fairly well-aged medium compound tyres. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out during the race. The rest of the order outside the top 10 looks like Shizant in P11, followed by Icedev, then SP Jaber, Elefast Psycho, then Snake and Beans in P15, Flavius in P16. Refixer and Noah will start from the back after crashing out during qualifying. They were unable to set lap times. Not the best place to start, that's for sure. It could be worse though, it could be Monaco. But yeah, to start at the back here at Singapore means that both Refixer and Noah, they've got a lot of work to do. Now, race time, and I have been informed that it is dry, which I am incredibly thankful about. I am so thankful for that. And hello KD, hello Ferrari Pro, hello Prezzo, hello Mighty Wombat. Nice to see you're watching the stream. It's unfortunate that you're not here. Would have been nice. Continue that championship battle with KD. This will take a bit of a blow. Yeah. It sucks a little bit. But you know, these things happen, so. And I can see the cars jumping around on the grid on the right hand side. Jumping around, getting ready to go. And I can see hard tyres in the Mercedes garage. I think the strategy to go with is either medium hard or hard to mediums. But it probably will be shaken up by a few safety cars here and there. More than likely. As the drivers set off on their formation though. No Zach, no wet race this time around. And you're right, Wombat, it is a very long season, plenty of races to come. Now, let's see who's starting on what tyre, shall we? A lot of mediums. What do you expect? It is Singapore. We'll run through the order. So we got KD on pole position, starting on the medium tyre. He'll have Captain Schmeg alongside, also on the medium tyre. It's Black Baller on the soft tyre and Renner Jr. on the soft tyre as well. These two should be fairly rapid off the line. They'll have a lot of grip compared to the medium compound tyre. Maybe if one of them gets a good start, they might be leading into turn 1. Who knows? Darlotto is next on the medium tyre in P5, then JBH on the medium tyre in P6. Liquito is 7th on the soft tyre. He has his teammate Rafa alongside in 8th place, also on the soft tyre. And Oscar Toll in P9 on the mediums. And Lake Show rounds out the 10, also on the medium tyre. Shizant has elected to start on fresh soft compound tyres. He has Icedev alongside on the mediums. Jaber is next in 13th place. He's starting on the medium tyre. He has Psycho alongside. He's starting on the hard tyre. Snake and Beans in 15th. He's also on the hard tyre. So only 2 drivers on the hard tyre tonight. For the start of it, for the start of the race anyway. Then we've got Flavius and P16 on the mediums and Refixer on the mediums as well. And Noah starting from the back in 18th place on the medium compound tyre. So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 drivers on the mediums. You've got 5 drivers on the softs and 2 drivers on the hards. So it's a healthy mix of compounds. It'll be interesting to see who gets the strategy right tonight. But you need a bit of luck when it comes to strategy, because there's bound to be a safety car at some point. We are racing at a street circuit, so we're bound to see at least one. Leaders are lining up into their respective grid slots. KD will be starting on the racing line, so on the outside for turn 1. So if he doesn't get a good start, Captain Schmeg will have that inside line for turn 1. He might be able to take the lead after the opening few corners. But of course, again, we've got to consider Black Baller and Renner Jr. on the soft tyre. They might be able to get a rapid start, and they could lead at the exit of turn 1. Noah's lining up into his grid slot now. We'll get this race underway. 18 cars for tonight, a very healthy field. It's not a full field, but it's a very healthy field. We've got 31 laps in front of us and 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Singapore. KD gets a fairly nice start off the line. He should lead the field down into turn 1. A bit of shenanigans going on at the back of the field as the leaders make their way through the opening sector. Too wide there between Renner and Black Baller. Oh, as Black Baller almost goes into the wall. They go around turn 4 and then into turn 5. Black Baller has the inside line and keeps P3. Down towards turn 6 we go. They're all in the long train as we have yellow flags. That's Noah. Noah has caused that down at turn 5. Oh, and now the inside goes JBH. I think he was trying to avoid Renner Jr. there. He outbroke himself into turn 7. He then cut the corner to try and avoid the Alfa Romeo. Try and avoid having an accident. Yellow flags are about. What's going on here? Rafixer's up a few positions. He's up to P14. And Istev. It's Istev. He's got a missing front wing. He'll have to go into the pits and get that fixed. A bit of drama here and there on the opening lap of this race. KD hasn't been able to break away from Captain Schmeg either. Captain Schmeg trying to hang on desperately. He's half a second behind at this point. Black Baller still in P3, Renner in P4, then JBH, Darlotto, Rafa and Liquito. They've changed places. Oscar in P9, Lake Show rounds out the 10. So I think the driver who has made the most amount of places is Rafixer from 17th to 14th. I'll check that. Yes, it is. He's made up 3, Noah up 2. Oh, and into the wall, Oscar! He's out of the race. He's lost control at turn 21. He goes head first into the wall and we have a virtual safety car. The drivers better slow down. Got to manage that delta. Noah goes into the pits as well. So he might have got damaged with whatever happened at turn 5. Yep, front wing change. New one going on. He's got medium compound tyres on the car. Way he leaves. Istev doing the same. He had an accident at turn 8, so he has to get a front wing change as well. What tyres does he have at the ready? A set of mediums, just like Noah. We're back on the green flag racing here in Singapore. And KD still has Captain Schmeg right behind, but these two have pulled away as Noah has spun at turn 1. And he's given himself wing damage. You can see on the left-hand side of that front wing. He's got a missing end plate. He'll have to come in and get that fixed. JBH, I think, has brought out yellow flags. So briefly, he's lost positions. His car looks okay, though. That's the main thing. As Lake Show tries to go around the outside of the Ferrari at turn 14. It's very tight on the exit, but they both get through. JBH gets demoted down to 9th. Lake Show up into 8th place. Fixer is on the back of Psycho here, heading through 16 and 17. A bit of a wiggle there from the Haas driver. A nice catch, though. Yellow flags. It's Istev. Same corner as DRS is now enabled. Lake Show overtaken by JBH. Lake Show going very slowly. And here comes Shizant to power past into 9th place. So Lake Show, not really too sure what happened. Maybe he lost control through turn 22. Had to gather a backup, lost time. And as a result, lost positions. That would be my guess. And SB Jada, I think he absolutely cut turn 5 there. I'm not too sure. That was very strange. JBH closing in on Laquito as they head towards the Singapore sling. Can't really overtake there. Too narrow, too fast. Through the chicane. And out of 12 over the Anderson Bridge into turn 13. JBH going to try and do the over-under on Laquito. He gets drive. He puts the power down. Opens DRS. Yellow flags are out in the middle sector. Laquito goes deep into turn 14. JBH trying another switchback, but Laquito stays in front. They go around turn 15 as Noah gets a 5-second time penalty for crossing the pit lane exit white line. Oh dear. Oh, as Laquito almost puts it into the wall there at turn 18. JBH is right on the back of the Red Bull. And he find a way by as KD sets fastest lap with a 41.4. He's now got a 2.1 second lead to Captain Schmed. Meanwhile, this battle going to be rather interesting here into turn 1. Will he go for it? No, he'll stay behind. Around turn 1, into turn 2, then around turn 3. As Psycho overtakes Lake Show, who goes into the pits. Let's see. Rafixa gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. And here comes JBH, who now has a 3-second time penalty. Just powers past with absolute ease as Darlotto and Renner are battling. This is for P4. Oh, it's tight on the exit. It's very tight. A lot of wheel rubbing as they go around turn 8. And into turn 9, Renner hangs on to 4th place. But this battle is surely not over. Through turn 10. Into 11 and 12. See, Renner is on the soft tyre. Those tyres won't feel too great as Icedev makes a mistake. That is at turn 18. Getting the power down the exit, a fair bit of wheel spin as well. Going around turn 14. As Black Baller in third, just ahead of this battle. Whoa, Dalata. It's awfully close. Bit of an interesting line as well at 16. Took it quite narrow. Oh, it goes deep at 18. Through turns 20 and 21. Now, I don't think he'll go for it at turn 1. Though he is close. He's half a second behind. He'll get DRS. Will he use up his battery? No. Around turn 1. Stays behind the Alfa Romeo. Missing the apex just a little bit. Through turn 2 into turn 3. Oh, that's awfully close. That was awfully close between those two. Around turn 5. Down to third gear. Both drivers get a pretty decent exit. But Darlotto has DRS and he'll go down the inside for turn 7. Renner can't do much about it. Darlotto moves himself into 4th place. And turn 8. Now those soft tyres, they'll be pretty awful by now. They've done 5 laps. It's about time they pit. These soft guys, I reckon they'll be trying to do a 2-stop. So soft to medium, medium. Flavius is in the pit lane as well. What are you up to? Got a set of hard tyres, I think, on the car. Yep. He comes out. KD, minding his own business. Got a 4-second margin to Captain Schmeg. Black Baller here in 3rd place. He's got his hands full. The Alpine filling his wing mirrors. Darlotto looking left and right to try and find a way by. Turned in a little bit early there. We got around the corner, that's the main thing. Round 21. Towards the final 2 corners. Will he go for it into turn 1? Or will he wait? Let's see. He'll open DRS. He won't use any overtake. As Shizant overtakes Laquito for P8. They go through turn 1, then turn 2, into turn 3. He's just going to set him up for turn 7 and get by. Go into 3rd. Down turn 5. Oh, big wiggle there on the exit for Black Baller. And here comes Darlotto, draws alongside and goes through into 3rd place. He's now got a relatively clear track in front of him. Captain Schmeg is 3.6 seconds in front. So he can try and put the hammer down, try and close the gap if he can. Laquita and Jaber, they're in the pits. They've pitted onto a set of mediums and a set of hards, respectively. Rafixa setting fastest lap with a 41.1 on the soft tyre. Just shows you how rapid those soft compound tyres are, but they fall off a cliff very quickly when it comes to grip. Gap is still hovering at about 3.5 between Darlato and Captain Schmeg, so they're fairly even at this point. Nicedev goes straight on at turn 18, but he gets it going, and he's still in the race. And there's KD just behind. He's enjoying life at the moment. Hopefully Icedev will get out of the way shortly. He's being shown blue flags. KD will begin lap 7 of 31. Still a long way to go. Not even at the 1/3 marker. Snake and Beans has crashed. That is at the exit of turn 13. And we have a safety car. The first safety car of the race. There he is there. Lost the back end out of turn 13. And put it into the left-hand side wall. Pretty easy thing to do. Chisholm goes in, puts on a set of medium compound tyres. Raf has put on a fresh set of mediums. What about the cars behind? Psycho stays out. Snake Beans left the session, fair enough. Laquito and Jaber here are on fresh tyres, so they don't need to pit. The Fixer might get off the soft tyre, put on something different. Lake shows on a set of hards. He'll be... I'm not sure what he'll do. Will he pit? No, he'll stay out. Probably try and go as long as he can on those tyres. Try and get to the end as Jaber goes into the pits. He's on a set of hard tyres. What will he pit onto? A set of soft compound tyres. I know he leaves the pit lane. There's the safety car. Ready and waiting for KD, who is making his way through the final sector now. But what will the leaders do? We got the top three, they're on the medium compound tyres. Got Blackballer and Renner Jr. They're both going to pit. This is about their pit window to get off the soft tyre. What do they pit on to? That's the question. As KD goes in, the race leader is into the pit lane. What will he pit onto, out of curiosity? Captain Schmeg gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. KD puts on the hard tyre. Bit of lag there. Captain Schmeg, I think Darlotto's going onto a set of hard compound tyres. Yes, he is. Same with Captain Schmeg, front wing change as well. Last driver, they'll put him behind Darlotto. Is he being held? No, that was just lag. Right. But he comes out in front of Blackballer, who is on the medium compound tyre. So he's planning to do a two-stop. Renner Jr.'s on a set of hards. JBH is on a set of softs. Interesting. Oh, and I think he clipped the wall there. Coming out of the pits. Oh, hello. Psycho. Comes out in 7th. Place Psycho on those old hard tyres. Started on those tyres, hasn't boxed yet. So he gains a whole heap of track position, but he's on old rubber. Interesting. And Captain Schmeg, he got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, not for multiple warnings. So he must have made a mistake at the pit lane entry, which is also incredibly easy to do, because I think this track has one of the worst pit lane entries and exits in the Formula 1 game. I can think of a couple of entries that are as bad, like Austria. The Red Bull Ring pit lane entry is shocking, because you're going through turn 9 at such a high speed that if there are any drivers behind you who aren't going into the pits, they're going to be balked quite significantly because of you going into the pits. Pit lane exits, it's like Monaco. Monaco's a shocking one. But it's Monaco, what do you expect? Yeah, here at Singapore, the pit lane entry and exits just... yeah. Not a massive fan of this racetrack. Hello, Broke Vegan. Yeah, JBH has done something a little bit different compared to everyone else. He's on the soft tyre. I don't know why he's done that. Will he go back in, put on something else? No, he's staying out. So he's trying something a little bit different. I want to see his race director briefly. So he started on the mediums, he's on the soft tyre. I don't know what his game plan would be. Maybe he's gambling on safety cars. Who knows? He does have a penalty next to his name as well. 3 seconds. Same with Captain Schmeg, and Rafixa's got 5. That was for speeding, if I remember. Yeah, basically, everyone who is on the hard tyre right now, they're going to try and go to the end. Except for Psycho. He has to pit as Darlato overtakes Captain Schmeg. Actually, no, it was Captain Schmeg overtaking Darlato. That's right, because Captain Schmeg had the front wing change. So, yeah, Captain Schmeg's supposed to be in third, so Captain Schmeg for some reason went by. Thankfully, that didn't spaz the game out. And this has helped these fellas out quite a bit. They got into trouble earlier in the race. Noah, Flavius, Istev, Jaber. They have the opportunity to catch up, try and recover, get a good result. Still got a long way to go. Now, depending on when the tail of the field catches up, namely Flavius and Noah, we're either restarting at the end of this lap, or we're doing one more lap on the safety car. Hopefully it won't be a late pull-in from the safety car either, because that's always annoying. Because the leader doesn't have enough time to try and control the field. Flavius is heading down towards turn 14 now. I think we will do one more lap. Or it's going to be tight. No, we should be doing one more. Yeah, we will be. We'll be doing one more. At least then it will give the leaders the opportunity to try and control the field and do the restart properly. Rather than having the safety car go in late and then turn into a very big mess. It's never fun. So let's try and work things out. So Blackwaller will do another stop. Those mediums won't make it. Rafa, Shizant, Laquito, they're doing another stop. Rafixa's definitely doing another stop. Same with Jaber. Lake Show. I reckon Lake Show is going to try and go to the end on those tyres. It'll be a bit of a stretch, but I reckon that's his game plan as he and Jaber change positions briefly there. Istev, he'll be pitting again. Same with Flavius and Noah. Those tyres won't make it. Or, if they try and stretch the tyre out, they'll be very dead. Very, very dead by the end of the race. Like, well inside puncture territory. Alrighty. So we should be restarting this lap. So once they hit the third sector, they safety car lights will go out. KD will control the field. There we go. Safety car in this lap. So KD now controls the field. We'll slow the pack down, allow the Aston Martin safety car to go back into its home in the pit lane. And then he'll determine when they go back under green flag racing. Drivers trying to get temperature into their tyres. Really important that you do get temperature into your tyres. Tyre temperature is a very important factor in driving these things in F1 2021. If they're out of the ideal temperature range, they have no grip whatsoever. KD sets off. Go around the final 2 corners. And we are back on the green flag racing here in Singapore. It's lap 11 of 31. KD will continue to lead the field around turn 1. Noah overtakes Flavius for P15. And KD's got Darlotto right behind. Shizant has overtaken Laquito for P9 as well. Black Ball is on the back of Captain Schmeg as they go around turn 5. Heading down this long flat out section, Noah has overtaken Ice Dev and JBH has overtaken Renner Jr. Black Ball will go down the inside. No, he doesn't. JBH is going to be awfully rapid on those tyres, but they won't last particularly long as Lakeshow has overtaken Rafixa for P11. Around turn 9, heading down towards the Singapore sling. JBH, he needs to be somewhat aggressive. He can't just stay in 5th and dawdle about just keeping up with the guys in front. He needs to be assertive. He needs to move forward. So he needs to make some fairly dicey overtakes. Go in front of him is Black Baller. He's on the medium compound tyre. He's looking pretty rapid. He's looking to the inside, but doesn't commit to a move as Rafa has overtaken Psycho. And into the back goes Shizant. The McLaren of Shizant goes into the back of Psycho, who rejoins down in 14th place. Captain Schmeg has got another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Has Shizant got damage from that? Surely he has. He went straight up the back of Psycho into turn 14. I'll be quite impressed if that car doesn't have damage. He's not going into the pits. Wowee. Psycho goes in. Seems that he definitely has damage. And I think he's had a moment as well. Entering the pits. KD still out in front. He's got a half-second margin to Darlotto in P2. Captain Schmeg is 3rd. Black Baller in 4th. Still hounding the back of the Haas. Black Baller, he's in a similar situation to JBH. He's on the softer compound tyre, so he can't just stay behind Captain Schmeg. He needs to get a move on. Through the Singapore sling. Through 11 and 12. Heading up towards turn 13. Will he go for it here? No, is the answer. Can he get the traction down on the exit of turn 13? He can. But he's not close enough to attack the Haas of Captain Schmeg. On turn 14. Yellow flags are about. Not sure why. Through the 3rd sector now towards turns 18 and 19. This is where the softer tyre would just be so much superior compared to the hard tyre. These sort of medium to low speed corners that require a lot of mechanical grip. Captain Schmeg ran a bit wide there at the exit of 21. DRS is now enabled. Heading down the main straightaway. There's Renner Jr. in P6. In the back of shot. Come through turn 2, around turn 3. Black Baller, half a second behind. Can he make the move on Captain Schmeg? Noah gets a 3-second time penalty down in 15th place. The Williams driver gets a whole heap of DRS to help him out, but he's still not close enough to try and make a move on Captain Schmeg. around turn 9. Meanwhile, the top two are starting to break away from this pack of 3. Darlotto's got a 1.2 second margin to Captain Schmeg. That's closed up a little bit, actually. Maybe Darlotto made a mistake. Will this give Captain Schmeg DRS? It does. The Black Bowler won't be able to attack into turn 14, as I noticed Flavius has overtaken Istev for P13. Through 15 into 16 and 17. Captain Schmeg is trying to keep within that 1 second range of Darlotto. He's doing so. He's now 8 tenths behind, 7.5 tenths behind. Does the Alpine have damage, maybe? He was keeping up with KD. Now he's losing a couple of tenths through each of the sectors. Laquito, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. He's currently in 9th place with Lake Show passing him as he goes into the pit lane. So Laquito into the pits. Probably has damage. Might have been the cause of the yellow flags a few moments ago in Sector 2. Who knows? Again, close but no cigar for Black Baller. He knows he's got pace, and it's fairly evident that he's got pace, but there's just nowhere to pass. Welcome to Singapore. Through the sling. Into 11 and 12. Over the bridge. And into the hairpin of turn 13. JBH's been able to attack the two in front even. In fact, he's losing time to the two in front. His front wing looks okay, but I can't help but think, does he have damage on that car? As Darlotto gets a 3-second time penalty. There is a thing in the game that our current race leader, KD, coined the term phantom damage, which actually describes it pretty well. Where you get damage on the car, but Jeff doesn't tell you anything, and you can't see it from the spectator view either. And I reckon maybe Darlotto and JBH might have some of that. Because yeah, Darlotto's lost a fair bit of time to KD, and Captain Schmeg has closed in, and he's under attack from Black Baller, who's trying to look around the outside of turn 5. Can't get it done there. Yeah, Darlotto has lost time as Black Baller's looking around the long way here into turn 7, and Captain Schmeg doesn't fight it and allows the Williams driver to go into 3rd. And JBH, I reckon he could have been quick on that soft tyre, but yeah, he hasn't been able to use the tyre to full effect. They're now 6 laps old, but you have to take a few laps away under safety car. So they're more like 3 laps old, maybe 4 laps old rather than 6. So they're still relatively fresh. He hasn't been able to do too much. Jaber has overtaken Rafixa. That's at the sling. Very tight when you see drivers go side by side through there. And that is Shizant. It was almost gone into the wall at turn 13. Gets going again. Rafa's on the back of Renner here. Those medium tyres doing him justice at the moment. Captain Schmeg gets a 3-second time penalty. Renner Jr. just doing the best he can on those hard tyres. They won't feel particularly great. Because since when did the hard tyres feel great? As Rafa closes in. Not by enough though to attack into turn 1. Now Black Baller, will he go for a move? Will he go for 2nd place as they head down towards turn 7? The answer is yes, and he'll get it comfortably. Goes into P2. He now has a clear-ish track in front of him. Try and push. Renner under attack here. Brazilian goes down the inside, but Renner fights back and keeps P6. Credit to the Canadian. Nice bit of driving around the outside. Let's see here. Oh, a nice aerial shot. I might stick with this camera view for a bit. I love aerial shots in this game. You can see the geography of the racetrack. It's quite nice. Yellow flags are about, I think it's either Ice Dev or Psycho. I think it's one of the AlphaTauris. I think it's Psycho bringing out yellow flags. I always love aerial shots, particularly at street circuits, because they're just that cool. Jaber. Oh, and now it's got another 5-second penalty for crossing the pit lane exit white. He's not having a great day here at Singapore. He's having the exact opposite of a great day. Down in 16th place, he's 17 seconds behind the next car. A lot of work to do. Rafa into the pit lane after only 8 laps. This seems early. Front wing change at the ready. Front wing on the car and away he leaves. Sporting an Arava helmet as well, I notice. Still got this train of cars. Black Baller from Darlotto, Captain Schmeg and KVH in P5, who's losing time now on those tyres. They're proper old now. They won't have a great deal of pace. So he'll have to come in and get that changed. Probably onto a set of mediums, and there's a perfect demonstration of how little grip those tyres have. Completely sideways, exiting turn 13. He tried to put the power down, the tyres weren't having it. Fortunately though, they still had enough grip when he got off the throttle and tried to gather the car up. But he'll be going into the pits. He'll chuck on the medium tyre and go to the end. Got a fairly healthy gap to Lake Show. So... no, he won't come in just yet. Ugh. I'd come in. Get off those tyres. Oh, Darlotto, hang on. Yes, I thought I saw him spin. That camera angle didn't show much, but I saw enough. Darlotto has had a moment at turn 2. And he's dropped down to 5th place. Now 1.3 seconds behind JBH. I'm not sure if he has any damage. I'm pretty certain he did hit the wall. Yeah, sometimes I wish these cameras weren't as zoomed in as they are. Would be nice. Over into the pits. Front wing change? No, just a set of medium tyres. Rafa goes into 10th place. He's on fresh rubber. And he's closing in on his teammate Laquito. And Flavius. P8. Big gap to Lakeshire. So if JBH were to pit, he'll probably come out in 7th place in front of Flavius, I would think. But he needs to come in. He needs to get off those tyres. And Darlotto has lost time, so he might have damage. Gaps are starting to spread out here in Singapore. This is something you typically see at street circuits. It's most noticeable at Monaco. The gaps become really, really big at Monaco. Or as Darlotto hits the wall, surely he has damage from that. He'll have to come in. And he's coming into the pits now. JBH is staying out. He's basically banking on a safety car at some point to help him out. Because he knows if he pits, he'll lose track position. But by staying out, you run the risk of putting yourself into the wall. And that could ruin everything. take away any hope of scoring points. Darlato's on fresh medium tyres. I believe he had a front wing change. And he'll rejoin in 8th place. SB Jaber gets a 3-second time penalty. Rafa's now closed in on his teammate Laquito. How nice will these two play with each other? Let's find out. No, a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Here comes Rafa. Opens DRS. He closes in at a rate of knots. Goes to the inside. Laquito leaves the door open. But Rafa doesn't go through as Rafixer is out of the race. Crashing out at the entry to turn 3. Right on board here with Noah. Have a look at what happened. Where is he? Oh my goodness. I think he did the exact same thing Darlato did a few moments ago, but it resulted in him crashing out of the race rather than just losing position. That would be my guess. Darlato, Flavius, swooping around the outside, goes Darlato into 7th place. And JV8 finally goes in. Don't tell me you're going to put on another set of softs. Oh god, he is. No. Mediums, my guy. Mediums. Soft tyre is useless here. Even if they're old mediums, you might as well use them. Older mediums are way better than soft tyre here. They just burn up way too quickly. And he gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well. Oh dear. Right, tight battle here between the two Red Bulls and the Alfa Romeo of Flavius. Coming out to turn 5, the Red Bulls are side by side as they head around turn 6, down towards turn 7. And come out on top in this battle. As Rafa's trying to look down the inside, can't get it done on Flavius there. Coming around turn 8 now is Laquito. He crashed out in the back of shot. Unfortunately, the camera didn't pick that up, and we have a safety car. So we saw that battle there between those three, and Laquito lost control. Look at him, he's right in the middle of the racetrack. I think his front left wheel has dislocated itself off the car. So, yeah, he's now out. I'm going to guess he probably got on the throttle a little bit too early here and put it into the wall on the left-hand side. Then the car bounced back onto the road, into the middle of the road, just before turn 8. Leaders are in. KD's in for soft tyres. Black Baller's got mediums. Lakeshow's got a 5-second penalty. Captain Schmeger's got mediums. Renner's onto a set of softs. Lakeshow's onto a set of mediums. You see, it's at an interesting point in the race. We've got 12 laps to go. We'll be doing a few laps on the safety car, but it's still going to be a fairly lengthy stint on the soft tyre. So, it'll be interesting to see who's made the right call. The safe call is the medium tyre, for sure. That's the safe call. But there's a lot of gains to be found by going onto the soft tyre. It is just so much quicker. The cars are lighter as well, so there's less weight for the soft tyres to deal with, so there's less tyre wear because of that. So, it's interesting. A gambling man will choose the soft tyre, safe man will choose the mediums. So, no, interesting. And the stupid man will choose the hard tyre. So. Quite right, Mighty Wombat, with this safety car coming out. Now he's got less work to do on the soft tyre. Ice Dev, a 5-second time penalty for crossing the pit lane exit white line. So we've got quite the mix. Fair few on the softs, few on the mediums. See who's on what time. See who's got what penalties, I should say. Top two don't have any at this point. Captain Schmeg has got 9 seconds. KBH has got 6. Renner's got none. Darlotto has 6. Rafa has none. Lake Show has 5 seconds. That's for speeding earlier. Shizant has none. Jaber has 3. Flavius has none. Icedev has 5. Noah has 6. And Psycho has none. And also with the amount of drivers we have left, everyone will score points. Everyone who finishes will score points. Anyone who is classified at the end of the race will score points. That's the best way of putting it. I eventually got there. But we got a lot of waiting to do. A lot of waiting to do. 420. Nice. Yeah, I had a feeling, Niquito. Unfortunate. But the rear tyres take such a pounding here at Singapore. That's something that I've learned talking with people, that the rear tyres take the majority of the pounding because there's so many traction zones around the racetrack. So the tyres get very worn very quickly, and it's so easy to just go that little bit too hard on the accelerator and lose the back end. And you don't have any rear grip available to you to try and catch it. It's so easy to do here. A lot of bad things are quite easy to do here, if I'm perfectly honest. What isn't easy to do is to keep out of trouble. And that's exactly what KD has done at the front of the field. And so long as he keeps out of trouble, there's a fairly high chance he will win here tonight in Singapore. Question is, who could challenge the Black Baller as the first obvious choice. In second place, he has no penalties, but he's on the mediums, so they won't have the bite of the soft tyre initially. But once those soft tyres fade away, then the mediums start to pick up. Black Baller could find himself back into the fight. The really important thing for him, if he wants to try and win, is that he can't lose too much time initially to KD. He needs to stay as close to him as possible for the first 2 or 3 laps after the safety car restart. And then the medium tyres will phase in. And then it's a matter of getting by KD, which won't be easy. Partly because we know how quick KD is, and secondly because it's Singapore. So you got 2 factors working against you when it comes to trying to overtake someone. Got a guy who's quite quick, and a track that doesn't really lend itself to overtaking. Got Captain Schmeg and JBH behind. They got pens, so they're unlikely to challenge. Renner Jr. is 5th, the next car who doesn't have a penalty. But he's sort of stuck in 5th place. He can't really do too much in this position. Because JBH, the car in front, he's on similar age tyres, same compound as well. And Captain Schmeg isn't an easy guy to overtake either, if he's in that sort of mood. Maybe Captain Schmeg will leave the door open and let them by, who knows. But I think in his position, he wants to finish as far up the field as possible to try and help negate the effects of that 9 seconds worth of penalties. Because it will hurt him. He will lose positions out of it. Darlotto P6, he's sort of stuck in the middle with pens. Rafa is 7th, similar situation with Renner. Both Renner and Rafa, they need a bit of luck. They need a bit of chaos to happen to get towards the front. Try and challenge for the lead. Rafa's on a set of mediums. Renner is on a set of softs. Interesting. Safety car should be in this lap as well. There we go. Safety car lights are out, so KD will control the field. There's the tyre situation. So we have got 7 cars on the soft tyre and 7 cars on the medium tyre. It's a 50-50 split. When we cross the line, we will have 8 laps to sort this out. There's still a chance that we'll see another safety car at some point as well. We still have enough laps to see another safety car. And being how long this circuit is in terms of time, it means there's a long time before the checkered flag as well for something to happen. KD is getting ready to set off, and there he goes in a fairly similar fashion to the previous restart. He'll cross the control line to begin lap 24 of 31 here in Singapore. He's got a half-second margin to Black Baller as they go into turn 1. Through turn 2, Captain Schmeg is right behind the Williams. They can't quite challenge for position, exiting turn 3. And Captain Schmeg is out! He has crashed colossally at turn 4, at the exit of turn 4. Oh, he's right in the middle of the circuit. Should be ghosting, so they won't affect any of the other cars, but he's lost the back end of turn 3 and put it into the wall. He's our 5th retirement from this race. Side by side here. Oh, collision at turn 7 and a spin for Flavius, and Noah is collected in it. I'm not sure if Noah has any damage from that. It's entirely possible that he does. Even the slightest touch can result in damage. As Captain Schmeg leaves the session. 1.4 seconds is the gap. KD has bolted, and he needs to. He needs of the soft tyre now, because they will phase out as Noah goes around Psycho to go into 11th place. 2 seconds is the margin. There's Black Baller doing the best to try and keep up with KD. Through the final sector. The soft tyre will be mightily quick through here, due to the superior mechanical grip that the soft tyre provides compared to the mediums. He's pulled away by about half a second through this sector alone. Around the final 2 corners, they'll begin lap 25 or 31. KD sets fastest lap with a 38.1. Needs to keep the hammer down, keep pulling away as Shizant, rather Jaber, is going into the pits. That's what's going on. He's going into pit lane. Around turn 5. Down this flat out section towards turn 7. No one's really close enough to battle just yet. And DRS is not enabled. It won't be enabled until next lap. Lake Show is close, not close enough though. Try and challenge for position. Rafa, if he can get his head down and close the gap, could stand for a really big result here in Singapore. Purely because of the fact he doesn't have any penalties next to his name. KD's now got a margin of 2.6 seconds to Black Baller. It's increasing a little by little through every corner. These fellas, they'll be getting ready to scrap it out towards the end. But ideally, they won't want to battle too hard, otherwise they'll let KD get away. Gap now is 3 seconds. And KD making about half a second gain through the final sector. As DRS is now enabled. As it's lap 26 of 31. 6 laps to go. And the main straight towards turn 1. JBH is 7/10 behind. Does he want to try and challenge? I don't think he'd be close enough to challenge. Dalato might be. He's right behind Renner here. Exiting turn 5. Gets a fairly tidy run. Gets plenty of slipstream as well. Looks like he's got momentum on his side. Will he go for it? Around the outside into turn 7. They touch. Dalato, will he fire it down the inside here? He will. They touch again. And half spinning the car. Dalato saves it. but he's lost a fair bit of time. I'm not sure if he's got damage from that either. Oh, the one time I don't need the aerial shot. He sees front wing. Now a slight touch between Darlato and Renner Jr. there at turn 8. Darlato half spun the car. It was a nice recovery. Could have been a lot worse. Still got a fair bit of work to do. Gap is 1.2 seconds between him and Renner Jr. and it's actually closed in to 1 second already. Gap between Black Baller and KD, 3.7 seconds. KD is continuing to pull away. And the final 2 corners. Lap 27 of 31 has begun. We got 5 laps to go. Oh, not a great run there from JBH in the first 3 corners. He's lost a significant amount of time to Black Baller, and he's now fallen into the clutches of Renner. And Renner won't be close enough to attack into 7, but he will gain time. Into 10th and a half, maybe 2 tenths on that straight. As Lake Show has overtaken Rafa down the inside at turn 7. Moves himself into P6. Noah sets fastest lap with a 37.9, showing the pace he's always had. He's just had a really terrible race. Over the Anderson Bridge towards the hairpin. Darlato is very close to Renner. Won't be close enough to attack into 14, I think. Come around turn 14, up towards turns 15, 16 and 17. Sending it over the chicane. Around the final sector now. Oh, dearie me, Darlato almost lost it there. At turn 18. Back end slid out. It was a nice catch, but it could have been very nasty. As they come around turns 22 and 23. Oh, and into the wall goes JBH, big time. Completely destroying his front wing. His race is over. He lost it big time at the exit of turn 23. He's fortunate enough he's still in the race, but his chance for a decent result basically thrown out the window. He'll have to come in and get that fixed. That's really, really unfortunate. Make sure now he has to try and pass the stricken Ferrari. JBH, he's trying to get out of the way. Very gentlemanly of him to do so. Through the Singapore sling. 4:10 separating Darlato and Renner Jr. And Renner doesn't have DRS to try and help him. Darlato, will he send it into 14? He tried to send it at 7. He tried to send it at 8. I don't think he's close enough to send it at 14. He's not going to use any battery to try and close the gap either. Through the... Oh, that's tight. Through the final sector. Sector 1 and 3. Sector 2 and 3 yellow flags. You got it. You hate to be in this situation. Everyone's been in that sort of situation where they've significantly damaged the car. They have to do a whole lap with a completely shafted car. It's never nice. It's never ever nice. And he's gone off again. But so long as he finishes, he will score something, and that's the important thing. He just needs to keep going. Now Darlato is close. He will go for a move here. He won't need to do anything drastic. DRS will just naturally get him by. What will Renault do though? He'll leave the inside line open. Doesn't bother fighting the Alpine driver. Just goes into 4th place. He can just follow Darlato around the racetrack. That's all he needs to do. Just stay with him and he'll get third place because of penalties. He doesn't have to overdrive the car, doesn't need to overthink it, just drive behind him. That's all he needs to do. Meanwhile, Black Baller has closed in. The gap is now 3.1 seconds, so those soft tyres are starting to phase out. It's now shrunk to 2.9. It's just a matter of, is there enough laps remaining for Black Baller to catch up and try and make some sort of move on KD? In fact, that gap has started to increase again. It's up to 3.1, 3.2. Black Baller, he needs to either dig deep, set some really big laps, or settle for second. What will he do? 2 laps to go. The gap is 3 seconds. Black Baller got anything up his sleeve, anything in the tank to try and close that gap. The gap has shrunk to 2.6. KD has lost a significant amount of time in the opening sector. Those soft tyres feeling a bit average now. Has he got a big enough gap in hand? Around turn 7. Black Baller, he can see that black Mercedes in the distance. He's got a target to aim at, as Lake Show has overtaken Renner Jr. as well. Renner just not fighting. Probably can't fight. He's in a similar situation as KD. Those soft tyres feeling pretty average. 2.5 seconds as they go through the middle sector. Through 11 and 12. There's KD. Here's Black Baller. He goes around the hairpin of turn 13. Closes in by a few more tenths. The gap shrinks to 2.3 seconds. The tyres on KD's car progressively becoming worse and worse and worse. And Black Ballers are starting to phase in even more and more and more. Coming underneath the grandstand, the gap shrinks to 2 seconds. As Flavius brings out yellow flags at turn 9, gets the car going. Down in 11th place. Around the final 2 corners, the gap is 1.9 seconds. It's the final lap as SP Jaber has crashed out at turn 8. He will be classified. He's met the minimum lap requirement. But he won't be finishing any better than 13th. The gap is now 1.6 as they go through turn 5. Baller desperately trying to catch up. KD desperately trying to hang on. They complete the first sector. The gap is 1.4 seconds. Yellow flags are out. The car's finally despawned as they go through turn 8. Around turn 9. KD manages the gap well. Black Baller closes in by a little bit as they go through the Singapore Sling for the final time. The gap is 1.2. As Black Baller run out of time, as he run out of track, it shrinks ever more to 1.2 seconds. He won't have DRS, but he's close. He can see very clearly that black Mercedes-Benz. The gap is now 1 second, 1.1. Now it's back to 1 second as they go through the final sector for the final time. KD, he just needs to hang on. He doesn't need to do anything silly now. Oh, as Black Baller clips the wall at turn 18 in his desperation to try and catch up and loses a bit of time. KD remains unfazed. He'll go around the final 2 corners to claim the checkered flag here in Singapore and win the Singapore Grand Prix. Black Baller getting a 3-second time penalty at the end of the race as well. He cut all of turn 22 to try and catch up. If you take away that 3-second time penalty, he finished 4/10 behind KD at the line. A very tight finish. And Renner Jr., who crashed out at the line, finishes in 3rd. Dalotto in 4th. And Lake Show completes the top 5, making it a pretty solid day for the Mercedes outfit. From the looks of things, it'll be Noah who will get driver of the day. From starting last, he finishes I think he'll be in 9th place, maybe 10th. As Lakeshore got a random 20-second time penalty for some reason, which demotes him down to 7th. That will get removed. I think it's because he overtook Renner's car at the line that crashed out. I'm not sure, but yeah, he got a random 20-second time penalty that he shouldn't have got. What do you know? Noah got driver of the day for his efforts here in Singapore. It's now time for the podium celebrations. It's another win for KD. He will extend his championship lead in the Americas Series. What a fantastic effort from him tonight. You can't take it away either from Black Baller. He closed in mightily close to KD right at the end of the race. KD might have taken victory, but it was only just in terms of position on track. Only 4/10 separating the two. The Black Baller got a 3-second time penalty for cutting turn 22 in his desperation to try and beat KD. Might as well try, see if he could pull it off. But at the end, he'll take a very deserved 2nd place. And Renner will complete the podium in 3rd. Dalato 4, followed by Rafa, Shizant, Lakeshore. Lakeshore should be 5th, I think. Then Psycho, Noah, Istev completes the 10th. Then Flavius, JBH, and Jaber, our classified finishers. Everyone else retiring over the course of the race. Race of attrition tonight, as it usually is here in Singapore. But we also had a fair bit of action as well, and a tight finish. It was very, very good to watch. No. I think that will complete this week's worth of racing here in Singapore. I'm glad that wasn't a wet race. I'm sick and tired of wet races at Singapore. They take too long. I imagine you're exhausted, KD. Great effort. But I think that will wrap everything up for the Americas Series this week. Tune in throughout the week, as we've still got plenty of racing to come here on Race Spec Esports. But for the Americas Series, we'll have to wait until next Tuesday. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you for round 9 of the championship at Circuit of the Americas for the United States Grand Prix. It's going to be a fairly nice occasion for a lot of the drivers. It's going to be their home Grand Prix. I'm sure they're all looking to perform. But until next time, it's goodbye.